That is in the bill, that if a teen runs away and a loving parent is trying to find where their teen is at, the state will not tell them.
Hydro Man 5000, if this gets me in trouble, we got an issue, bro. We got an issue. You might as well go ahead and buy some boxing gloves, because I'm sending Stevie Knight over to your crib with some boxing gloves and he gonna whoop your ass. Or get his ass whooped like he did by the guy that he just now fought. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to get into that. But listen, guys, we are dealing with something right now where children can make up their mind to get sex changes. They can go through the surgery, get the sex change, even if their parents don't agree with it. Even if their parents say no, the child can run away, get it done, and the government will pay for them room and board for their healing, for their shelter, and get this, they ain't got to tell the parents. You don't believe me? All right, watch this. Some just now passed, allegedly, I got to say allegedly, that supports this. It's absolutely ridiculous, but guess what? We are on it.
We believe it is better to have a young person in a shelter with some adult supervision than having them out living on the streets.
Governor Inslee.
Better to have a child in a shelter with some adult supervision than out on the streets. I agree with that as well. Have protect the children. Protect the daggone kids. Anybody out there on the street? Yeah, if you got room for a shelter for the kids, bring them in. But this next part right here is some bull sugar honey iced tea, bro.
Voicing support for a new bill intended to protect trans youth. Senate Bill 5599 passed the Senate, House, and is on its way to the governor's desk.
Protects trans youth. He didn't say that. He didn't say nothing about no trans youth. He didn't say anything about protecting kids who say, you know what? F you, mom. I'm supposed to be a boy and I'm going to cut my off. I'm leaving and you can't do anything about it. The government is going to house me somewhere and not tell you about it.
The law would allow shelters to not contact a young person's parents if that young person is after, quote, protected healthcare services. That includes gender-affirming treatment.
That is what this bill is intended to do, to ensure that these youth have access to safe housing.
Legislation that has been widely criticized by the right, including the chairman of the Washington State Republican Party. He fears the bill is overreaching.
The law already outlaws abuse, and you could call CPS, and we certainly want to protect children. But we think this bill goes too far in taking loving parents away from important, significant decisions.
You hear that? This bill goes too far, and it takes parents away from loving, significant decisions that as a parent, if anybody has a right to be involved in these decisions that are being made, it's the parent. That's it. The parent. The mom who pushed that boy out of her vagina can tell her 10-year-old, no, you're not cutting off your dingling. Relax. Like, that doesn't mean that they don't support them. That don't mean that they're not trying to get them treated. That don't mean that they're not trying to get them to see a professional so that they can figure out exactly what's going on. That don't mean that they're trying to act as if they aren't who they say they are or any of that. It just simply means that this parent is doing what an adult should do. But they're taking the power away from the adult. They're taking their power away from the parents. This is the part that I don't understand. What exactly does this do for the country? How does this make things better?
Yes, and we certainly want to protect children. But we think this bill goes too far in taking loving parents away from important, significant decisions that teens are making.
The bill is intended to lower the barrier of entry to shelters for trans youth. Critics argue it leaves parents in the dark.
That is in the bill, that if a teen runs away and a loving parent is trying to find where their teen is at, the state will not tell them.
That's criminal. How is that not criminal, man? Please tell me that. Are they using this under the guise of the parents are going to hurt these kids. The parents are abusing these kids. The parents do we have it on record that parents are finding out that their children want to be an opposite sex and parents are just starting to just slaughter their kids? Oh, no, you're not killing their kids. Are they doing that? What are they protecting these kids from? Are they protecting the kids from themselves? No, they're actually encouraging the kid to be as childish as ever. Like, go and do what you want to do. we got this bill in place. Like, a child can run and do whatever they want to do, and we will make sure that they are good, and we won't tell you your parents. What? I'm not going to tell the taxpayer who pays our bills, who pays my mortgage, who pays for my car that I got outside, who pays for my kids to go to these private schools. The taxpayer who pays my salary, we're not telling them anything. They don't have any rights. Are you freaking kidding me? When did we start doing that? When did the kids start getting more rights than the freaking taxpayers? I know this is not about money. It's about what's moral, what's immoral, and what's right and what's wrong. These are the end of times. Get right with God, because this is what's happening. You no longer have any type of rights over your own damn family.
And as a parent, that's terrifying.
The governor says he's still awaiting a full briefing on the legislation, but in the meantime, is voicing support.
If a young person is totally estranged from their parents, has no meaningful relationship, we need someone to care for that child. And the way the legislation is set up is essentially the Department of Children, Youth, and Families will step into that position to care for that child. So
if they are estranged from their parents and they don't have a meaningful relationship, then we will hide them and not let their parents know. If there was not a meaningful relationship, why would you have to hide the kids? If the parent wants to know where the child is, then there is a meaningful relationship. They want to know if their child is safe. They want to know if their child is being looked after, if their child is eating and taking care of themselves. They want to make sure that their child is alive. Do you not realize how you don't have to be depressed? You don't have to suffer from anxiety. You can, or any of those things. Not being able to speak to your child, not knowing what type of mental state they're in, not knowing if they're alive or dead in a ditch. That will run someone nuts, run them crazy. You don't know if they're in a hospital. You don't know if they were arrested. None of that. You just got these, you're raising money, GoFundMes. You got your kid out there on milk cartons or all over the internet saying how they've gone missing. You probably think that they was snatched and taken into sex trafficking or something like that. And all along, the government is hiding them in a shelter because the kid wants to have a sex change? Somebody please explain this to me. It makes absolutely no sense.
they have somebody looking out for their benefit.
Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
And then he said so nicely as if it makes sense. It does not. It don't make sense. Not right now. I would like for somebody just to make it make sense. If you know, please school me in the comments. Someone said, oh, it gets worse. They said it's all over TikTok. Yep, mom and dad's rights to it. If you distance children from their family, the further the distance from God, they know exactly what they're doing.